If you get a smart drug, this miracle drug can instantly develop your brain to 100%. Let your body's potential to the maximum. What will you do to fulfill your wish? After the hero obtained this miracle drug, he made hundreds of millions of dollars in the bear market, and successfully ran for president of the United States. The main character, Jack, is a writer with a lot of ambition, but he's a writer, can't even start an article with a thought. To be precise, he can't even write a single word. He relies on alcohol to find inspiration all day long, but he still can't get started. One day Jack was out on a road trip. He happened to run into his ex-wife's brother. He said he was now a sales consultant for a mysterious pharmaceutical company, and then he threw out a small, clear pill, and told Jack, "This pill will make the brain work 100%. It costs $800 a pill, but this is for you." Jack half-heartedly took the pill and filled it up. When he got home, he couldn't resist his curiosity and swallowed the pill. Just as he went upstairs, he ran into a landlady who was collecting debts. She began to accuse Jack, and told him that if you don't pay the rent again, you can go sleep on the street. And that's when Jack actually had a hallucination. That's right, the magic pill took effect. The brain started to work fast. At that moment, Jack's eyes became bright. He was able to see every strand of the landlady's hair. It was as if he could see the subtleties of the whole world. He could see it all. Jack said confidently, "I know you're worried about writing your paper." The landlady was surprised. "How did you know I was working on my thesis?" Jack said, "I saw a book in your bag, with just the corner of the book. I instantly remembered that I had seen it years ago." And then he recalled the entire contents of the book. He began to teach his landlady how to write an essay from memory. With his superb brain, Jack easily helped her finish the paper. When he got home and saw the messy room, Jack couldn't believe it was his own home. Using his super mobility, he cleaned up the room in a couple of minutes. He sat down to write his novel. At that moment, his mind was full of inspiration. In just a few hours he was done. But the next day he woke up and the effects of the drug had worn off. The mind became empty again. Luckily, the novel was finished. Jack came to the publisher to turn in the manuscript, and confidently told the editor, "If you read the first 3 chapters of the manuscript, I guarantee you will not be able to stop." As soon as Jack arrived home, the female editor called him on the phone. He said he had already read the 40th chapter, and he couldn't stop. She wanted to sign him up right away. This made Jack very happy, but then he suddenly realized his own ability has disappeared. Yes, he still needs this miracle drug. Jack went to his brother-in-law's house, but he found his brother-in-law dead in the house. The room was in a mess. He suddenly thought of something. The killer must have come for the magic pill. Jack took a chance and searched the room, and God was kind to him. He found a bag full of it. Ever since he got the magic pill, Jack's life has been like a hangover. He can finish a novel in 4 days. He can learn to play the piano in 3 days. Money is just a number. When you come to the casino, you can take away tens of thousands of dollars just by playing. Women are a fish out of water. He is always the one who shines in any place. With a superb brain, he soon became a part of high society. He played more exciting and extreme games. Writer was no longer enough for him. At this time he had a more daring idea. That is to make money. The fastest way to get money is through finance, because the capital is not enough. Jack borrowed from the mob boss 100,000 loan sharks. He tripled the dosage of the miracle drug. In just a few days, he made $2 million. Soon he had a place in the financial world. He also recovered his ex-girlfriend. But God couldn't always be so kind to him. Yes, it did. The magic pill began to have side effects. Jack began to hallucinate and forgetfulness. He went to the bar to try to use alcohol to relieve, but it didn't work. On his way home, he ran into a few people looking for trouble. And that's when he recalled a kung fu movie he had seen, and he knocked them all to the ground. The next day Jack woke up, suddenly found that the magic pill had been consumed by himself. At that moment, his mind was blank. He couldn't even understand the most basic data. He found his brother-in-law's address book. He went to his boss to see if he could still buy the medicine. Called the first number to tell him he was already in the hospital. Dozens of calls in succession. 3 people died. The others were going to die too. With his last glimmer of hope, he made the last phone call, and at that very moment, the phone actually rang behind him. It seems that a buyer has set his eyes on him. He was going to steal the drugs from him. Jack rushed to escape. He was able to get away from the bad guys. He had to go to his ex-wife, and his ex-wife had already lost her face and was very old. It turns out that she also took this magic medicine. The side effects of the drug are very strong. Most of the people who took it died. His ex-wife said she was lucky that she took less of it and stopped using it in time. She barely survived. Jack was completely desperate because he had taken too many pills. Before he left, his ex-wife told him, "This drug can only be reduced in dosage. If you stop taking it, you will simply die." And at this time Jack only had 1 magic pill left. On the way, he ran into a gangster. He stole Jack's medicine. When he was about to die, he remembered something. With his last shred of sanity, he found his girlfriend, confessed everything to her. Then he told her that the last medicine was hidden in your home. His girlfriend could not bear to see him suffer so much, so she helped him to get the medicine. But on the way back, the bad guy who stole the medicine appeared again. The woman turned around and ran. The bad guys followed her and soon had her cornered. She called Jack and told him her situation. In the nick of time, Jack asked her to take a magic pill. She didn't want to take it at all, but with the bad guys closing in, she had no choice. In a difficult situation where there is no dare to do, the panicked woman takes the magic pill. The next second, everything around her is clearly visible. The brain starts to work at high speed. She calculated the best escape route. The next thing she knew, she was running for her life. The bad guys saw her chasing after her. The woman exploded into her ultimate mobility. The bad guys couldn't catch up. In the chase, they reached the center of the ski resort. The killer drew his knife and was about to stab her. And so the woman managed to escape. She brought back the magic pill and managed to save her boyfriend. And so the dying Jack is back on top again. He continued to play. He hired 2 high-priced bodyguards to protect him. For the safety of the magic pill, he had a tailor sew a pocket inside his suit to hide the drug. Finally, he spent $8.5 million to buy a burglar-proof house. But when the mobster got a taste of the magic pill, then he came to him every day to ask for the magic pill. And Jack was also surrounded by spies. During a meeting, the elixir was stolen by his most trusted person. When he found out there was none left, Jack rushed to his home. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. It was the mobsters who came to rob the pills. The security door was cut open with a chainsaw. Jack was also caught. At this point, he was already helpless. The mobster laughed at him for not knowing the true use of the drug. He said he injected the drug into his bloodstream so that the effect would last longer. Jack took advantage of their inattention, hid a knife behind his back, and sent the mobster to hell. By now, he had used up all his strength. He invited the killer to help him work. With the help of the killer, he killed the man who stole the medicine. He got his medicine back. Then he went to the institute. Let the scientists research more powerful magic medicine. The scene has changed more than a year ago. At this time Jack is already running for president of the United States. The rich man who used to be his boss found Jack and said, "I already know the secret of the medicine you take. I have taken control of your pharmaceutical research institute, so you still have to work for me in the future." But Jack said, "I quit that stuff a long time ago. Now my brain has been completely developed and perfected. It's running at 100% every minute of every day." But the rich man didn't believe me. Jack said there was going to be a car accident. But the next second there was a car accident on the side of the road. Jack touched the rich man's chest, and he knew he was having a heart attack. This is amazing. The rich man saw that he could not fight Jack, could only get in the car and leave.